Hello, Kingmakers and Chaos Gremlins. My name is TV Skyn, and welcome back to the boss designs of Elden Ring, where everything is depressing and sad. Poor Morgott. Also, Morgott, he's an asshole, but poor Morgott, really. It's like complicated situation that he was in, and also he was a genocidal oppressor who killed a lot of people, but also it's kind of sad that he was in a position where he had to do that, or felt that he had to do that, and didn't even get anything out of it. But that's the way it goes with theocratic fascism, is like, yeah, no, there's not going to be a reward, you stupid slut. You're going to get murdered and discarded just like all the rest of them. But now we are in the unique position of having a direct place that the game wants us to go. We've been told to go this way. Look, there's a marker on the map and everything that's telling us that this is exactly where we need to go. So that is not where we're gonna go. We're gonna not go that way because the game told us to, and because the game told us to, we're not gonna do it. Because like what? You think you just tell me to go somewhere and I'm gonna do it? You think I'm just a funny monkey? Huh? You think I amuse you? Is that what you think? No. Fuck you, Elden Ring. I'm gonna go wherever the hell I want, which, and I'll let you know where that is just as soon as I figure out what and where.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you?
I would appreciate it. Thank God you didn't leave forever. Yet.
In Marika's own words, O Radigan, Leal Hound of the Golden Order.
Leal?
Thou art yet to become me. Thou art yet to become a god. Let us be shattered, both. Mine other self. Think not of the kindling. I shall see to that. All I ask of you is to make the journey to the snowy mountaintops of the giants, far above the clouds. I know I'm asking you to commit a cardinal sin, but it must be done to reach the path beyond. And that is the path I wish to travel. What is your mind?
My mind is, I'm a little bit worried about this kindling that you're telling me not to worry about. I don't know, it feels like maybe that's something I should be worried about a little bit, given how much you insist it's not. So, you know, like, I have things on my mind.
Shall I turn your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment, share them with me. Your thoughts, your ambitions, the principles you would follow.
There's something about the way that this game approaches intimacy as well. It's something that's especially interesting in the context of Souls games. Like, I've not played Dark Souls 3 yet, obviously, but Dark Souls as a series, right? Like, the Souls games, Soulsborne, Bloodborne, all of them, have a thing about, like, the world is unremittingly harsh and grim and miserable, and everything sucks, and you're gonna die over and over again, and everyone's dying, and the world is dying. The role of intimacy, like the role of softness and kindness, thus, is an interesting thing that Elden Ring, I feel more than Souls 1 or 2, or Bloodborne for that matter, have a focus on a kind of intimacy in interactions between characters that I'm quite curious about. Because for Fia, the Deathbed companion, intimacy clearly means, like, it has a specific meaning. There is, like, the sort of petit mort connection between death and sexuality with her as a character. And with Melina, we talked about, like, the first thing she does is gifts you a ring. And there is this, I talked about this in the very first episode, there is this sort of symbolic marriage that happens there, at least insofar as you pledge yourself to her as a companion. There is a gentility in this game that I find interesting, an approach to gentility and softness that I find interesting. I don't know if there's enough there that it would make it into, like, an essay necessarily, but it's something I have in mind. I'm still stuck on all these dead finger readers. The finger readers are essentially interpreters of the greater will, right? Like, they're interpreters of the two fingers, as we've seen them. They are agents of destiny, right? Like, they're fortune tellers. They read your hands, palm readers. They read your fingers. And they foretell what is to come or point you in the right direction. And it's interesting that all of if we take them as fortune tellers, if we take them as prophets or oracles of the future, then the fact that they're all dying like this sort of, okay, the future has been killed, right? Like, or someone's trying to forestall destiny or overturn destiny or change it, right? Like, that would be why you would kill, you know, the arbiters and interpreters of the future like this. If we take them as heralds of the greater will, right? Like, we take them as handmaidens of the Golden Order, whose job it is to communicate the will of the Two Fingers and of the greater will and the whatever, then the killing of them reads more like rebellion, right? Like rebellion against the authority of those who hold the future in their hands, right? Like, or you can read it as a withering, right? Like that the Golden Order is withering and dying, and so the finger readers themselves, who are expressions of the power of the Golden Order, are going with it. But it is curious because Marika's bedchamber is full of commandments, right? Like all these plates and plates and plates of what I assume is laws or commandments or proclamations or whatever the f they may be, just like stacked to the ceiling with those things. And the finger readers here, like, feel like they would be accessories to that activity, right? Like that they would be advisors or servants in some way that... Okay, I can see why some people say magic is easy mode. That was easier than climbing up here. I believe it is a pretty powerful spell, this one, so maybe that has something to do with it. But it doesn't really cost that much FP, does it? Okay, so we have this giant gargoyle over here. Oh, I can't survive that, can I? Or can I? Can I survive that? Questions for later. Question for right now. What does this do? Uh-oh. Oh, not the spell I wanted to use, but it'll do. Aha! Bolt of Gransax. Okay, that... no, okay, no, okay. Oh, God! Nope, you're gonna... Okay, yeah, no, yeah, cool. Well, that looks like it goes downwards. There was that bit over there, right? So now, there was a way down. This way. And then that way. It's gonna minimize the fall damage. Yoink. Oh, could you not? Don't follow me in here. I don't know what's in here that's gonna kill me. But it's something. Like, something is in here that's gonna kill me. You don't make a room like this if there's not something in here that's gonna kill me. This is a something is in here that's gonna kill you room. Mad Tongue Alberic's trousers. Alberic was an aloof yet disturbed heretical sorcerer said to have been driven mad by jeering tongues during his service to the Round Table hold long ago. Oh, that is a pretty cool hat. It is a pretty cool hat. So isn't Mad Tongue Alberic? I've heard that name before. But where the f have I heard that name before? Alberic. It's something in my memory is pinging off of this, but... Wait. Is this the round table hold? I mean, not entirely. There's differences, but... For one thing, these guys aren't at the hold. Okay, I need to find a way to get up there. Fortified manor, first floor. Fortified indeed. Is that the name of the guy when you jump down in the round table hold and he invades you? And was that Mad Tongue Alberic? Was that the name of him? Is that where I recognized it from? Okay, I guess that would make the round table hold like a sort of... okay. It's not gonna work. Yeah, sort of magical, spiritual space representation of an actual place in the world, which I guess we found now? Okay, how the f do I get up to the second floor of the fortified manor? Because it's connected to the Divine Bridge here, which is where we got sent with the... Okay. 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 Oh, I can just open the door. Oh, good! Oh, good! Oh, great! Oh, fantastic! Oh, sublime! Amazing! Wonderful! Love that! Please don't get on the elevator with me. Thank you. Wait, does this get me all the way up to the Divine Bridge thing? Holy shit, it does. Here's a question, though. Kind of feels like... Just looking at this place, sort of feels like, feels like something's missing here. Some bits of building are rather conspicuously missing. So, like, did the Divine Bridge extend out from here? Where would it have gone? There's just a minor Erdtree church, and then this, and then I guess... It sort of points at the Black Knife catacombs, I guess. But the bridge wouldn't have to be straight, necessarily. It could circle out and go out here, I guess. Huh. Hell of a bridge to build that long. Mysteries for later. Because I want to get to this. Now I'm here. I need to figure out whether this is literally like the round table hold is like a magical projection representation of. Oh, you just see me immediately, huh? Didn't get to full damage. Come get me! Come get me! Come get me! Magical elevator force field. Works every time. Okay. So, There's technically a tree from Erdtree Sanctuary that points here, but I don't know that it goes here. Could you not? And it's not like it looks like there's any windows or whatever. Oh, wait. Hang on. Ugh. Ah. Aha! Success! I don't know if I get much out of it, except satisfaction, but that is very satisfying. I got up here. Cool. Yeah, no smith, but a sanctified wet blade. And a hammer. Of course, a hammer. Hero's rune on the bed. Picture of Marika. One thing I would like to do, just out of curiosity. Yeah, no grace is lighted here, huh? I would like to go... If there was a... I'd like there to be a grace in here. Somewhere. Because I want to come back and compare... the pictures on the walls with the ones in the actual round table hold. Not because I think necessarily there's anything interesting to be learned from that, but because I'm curious. And here's where the Husk Maidens would be. And the Dung Eater's room. Which, curse grown on a body defiled by the Dung Eater. A tender pox afflicted with omen horns. The Dung Eater cultivates the seedbed curse on corpses. By doing so, he prevents dead souls returning to the Earth Tree, leaving them forever cursed. One of the most loathsome things found in all of the lands between. Yeah, it's a lot of corpses, so he's been here, I see. Okay. He's been here in spirit, and he has definitely been here in the flesh. Oh, 2 fingers! No 2 fingers, but a throne. And a coded sword. Hidden sword once granted to the tarnished of the round table hold by the 2 fingers. A formless cipher comprises its blade, which deals holy damage no shield can repel. Champions would gather at the round table hold in days long past when the 2 fingers were masters of oration, their flesh yet full of vigor. I mean, it is a lightsaber. That is, admittedly, pretty cool. Not what I'm gonna use, but pretty cool. A throne, huh? This throne looks a little small for the 2 fingers, I gotta say. Which really rather implies that the 2 fingers don't have a corporeal form at the round table hold. Well, we don't really know what the other round table hold is, do we? Is it a spiritual projection? Is it a extra-dimensional holding space? Heck if I know. I think that's everything in this small section. Okay. So now there was the question of finding a way down. Sorry. Oh, that just leads down there. Okay. Darkness and silence through the... Get me the f*** out of here! Nope. Lionel's helm. Deathbed dress. Oh, I don't like the storytelling of this. Extremely thin and sheer white dress worn by the deathbed companion as she embraces the dead. Slowly replenishes HP of nearby allies, but not that of the touch of the fabric is exceedingly soft so as not to harm even the most withered corpse, while still sharing her warmth. When this chivalrous, dauntless knight met Fia, who had been driven from her home, he declared himself to be her father? I'm getting, absolutely cannot wear this properly, but... Bonk, yeah. Yeah, there's a little Sigmire in this. Just Onion Knight-ish. That's another Omen killer. It'll be a pleasure to put that asshole out of his misery. I swear to God, that's taken directly from the Capra Demon. That double Omen smirk. Mask with long, hideously twisted horn worn by the Omen killers. Increases strength. Bears the smirking face of an elder twisted in wicked delight. This visage is carved in the image of the evil spirits that haunt the Omen in their nightmares. Just cruelty, man. Just cruelty. Performative, intentional cruelty. Oh, he respawns. Like, it's one thing, right, to kill them, right? Like, to go around killing children or whatever the fuck it is they do. Another thing to do it, like, wearing an outfit that's specifically designed to just make it worse. Because it's the deliberate infliction of as much torment as possible. Seemingly just for the sake of making it more miserable for your victims. Right? It's that taking joy in it. Oh, fuck you. Fuck off. Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck all the way off. Why are you here? Oh, I thought you were like a carrion thing. Why are you here? No. And it's like the Omens haven't done anything, right? Like, it's they're just born with this condition. They're just born with this curse or whatever, and then the Golden Order is just like, F you forever. F you until you die. Because you were born a way that we don't like, which, oh my god. But, like, that is how people with certain disabilities are treated, and have been treated historically. Like, you were born a bit weird, therefore you're cursed, therefore we're gonna make you as miserable as we possibly can until you die. Or kill you, right? Like, that's not even an exaggeration, that's an actual way that human beings have been treated. In reality, by other human beings. That's the thing about the Omens, right? Like, it's not just, it's not just, like, magic fantasy curse, right? It speaks to something real. I'd give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. I want to find a way to get under the city, which is eluding me so far. A well with a ladder. One day you'll go through the rain, and one day you'll feed on a tree frog. Hey! Oh, this is giving a little bit of Blight Town. Okay, the music changed. It's ordeal, the trial to survive for the day we see new life. Oh yeah, look at the color grading change. Oh, this is giving Blight Town. Is this poison? No, okay. Okay, so I posited in my analysis of Leyendell that maybe there was a dignified, stately necropolis under the city. I think I might be taking that back. Subterranean shunning grounds. Ah. I see what we're shunning. I don't suppose there's any chance of you not being turbo hostile, right? I guess this is just where omens are sent to rot. Whoa. Mask formed from tightly wound bandages soaked through the blood. Even the most ghastly cover is more inviting than the festering face underneath. Just in case you didn't get it with the leper thing. You know? Right, so... must be a lever somewhere. And then there's that, which feels like don't fall down there if you can help it. I'd give my life, not for honor, but for you. What the? Oh, imps. Imps. Interesting. Imps are usually in heroes' graves and things like that. Catacombs. Oh! 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 Well. Oh! Lobsters, too! Cool! Right. A little bit like... I was looking at that and was like, oh, there's a pathway over. But no, there's not. Oh! Jesus. You not! Uh-oh. No! Yeah! Yeah! No, that was gonna happen. Okay! Cool! Great! Wonderful! Lobsters! FromSoft thinks they're funny. They think they're so funny. And the problem is they're right. That's the problem. The problem is they're right. The problem is it's true. They're correct. It is funny. It's so funny. It's just that the joke is on me. They may have some of the most comedic level design in all of gaming. And I feel like people don't talk about it enough. I feel like FromSoft doesn't get their flowers for how funny their level design is. Is this a shortcut, please? Or something? Can I open the door? Okay. Alright. There's a lever. Good, there's a lever. Hi, buddy. I'm just gonna pull the lever, okay? That's all. Just gonna pull the lever. And maybe take the item that you're guarding. But that's fine, right? We're pals. I can borrow this. Oh! Gee, oh, that was projectiles. That was not explosion, that was projectiles. Okay. But I can maybe get there. Yeah. And, then... question mark? Then down from here, no problem? No damage, no hurt? A little hurt. A little bit of some hurt. But, you know, could be worse hurt. Could be hurted more. Yeah, hi. Ow. Wait, what? Moogs, what? Hole in the wall! No! No! There was a hole in the wall right there! Ah! Just gonna... Okay. Alright, alright. Why are my runes over there? I don't even need them. I'm fine. It's not that... Oh, fuck off, you fucking brazier! Ah! Briefly binds Moog, once imprisoned, to Earth. A fetish bathed in golden magic. Shackles were used to bind the accursed people called the Omen, and these ones were made to keep a particular omen under the strictest of confinement. This feels familiar. Though faint, the shackles still retain vestiges of power, enough to trap the once bound Moog on Earth, if only for a short time. Because that... I think that's identical to the description of Margit's shackle, right? Not even enough runes to really be worth it, but... Okay, good. Lobster respawn? Question mark? Oh, yeah. Lobster respawn. Affirmative. Fine, that's okay. Ta-da! Hey! Okay, well, alright. Alright. Not my most elegant fight. Crucible Scale Talisman. A talisman fashioned from a scale that embodies the aspects of various creatures. Said to have grown on the human body long ago, reduces damage from critical hits. A vestige of the crucible of primordial life, born partially of devolution, it was considered a signifier of the divine in ancient times, but is now increasingly disdained as an impurity as civilization has advanced. And I guess the omens are connected to that, huh? Okay, so... what's gonna be in here? Oh, dogs! Cool hat. Little... Thank God it's not a white hat, but... I think Oleg can probably just solo. Oh, yippee! Hell! What in the was that? Yeah, no, Oleg. Oleg's got it. Wow, you just got shredded. Thanks, Oleg. Behold, weak foe. Yeah, it was. They weren't that strong. It was the dogs that was the problem. A talisman depicting the exaltation of the Lord of Blood. Raises attack power when blood loss occurs in the vicinity. Render up your offerings of blood to your lord. Drench my consort's chambers. Slake his cocoon's thirst. His awakening shall herald the dawn of our dynasty. That sounds like normal things to say and want. Okay, well, where the f did this pipes go, then? Because that one there is open, right? There's no way for me to get up to that I can tell. There isn't some side passage here that I've missed somehow. Oh, wait. Yes, there is. There's this. I've jumped down there is a thing I haven't done. Okay. Now, whatever you are... I figured. Ow. That sucks. And you suck. Okay, they don't move, though, so I can just kind of dispel their poison cloud with the fire and then... What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I'd give my life, not for honor. There we go. Decoy ahead, therefore first attacking. I mean, I figure that... Oh! Hey! Would you stop doing that? You asshole! I hate those things. What? Come the fuck on. Okay, well. Into the pipes, then. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. We're just gonna open the shortcut. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna open it. We're just gonna shortcut the open. Hooray! Down required ahead. Yeah, let's do it the slow way, though. Oh, that looked so doable, though. Nope. Nope. It's not. It's not. It's a trap. Oh, he can land on the ledge. Oh, he can do it. Oh, the ledge is available for him to land on. Sure. Oh, all right. I'm about to die again, aren't I? Yep. Yeah, I am. Watch me die here somehow also. Okay. Be wary of ill-omened creatures. I see, yeah. Ooh, I heard an... Oh, no! Absolutely the not off. Okay. So long as... Doll of a curse-born baron. Omen babies have all their horns excised, causing most to perish. These fetishes are made to memorialize them. Please don't hate me or curse me. Please. It was sitting by this tiny little gravestone. And on the little grave, one of those golden centipedes that the Golden Order seems to hold in high regard. Oh, man. And we're up on the walkway now. Cool. Oh, God, yes, please. Yes, please, thank God. Okay. Well, so far so good, I suppose. Huh. Oh, hello. So I can keep that ladder down, then. Yeah. Okay. Hi. Sorry about all of the everything. Do I have enough stones to upgrade any of my stuff? Cool. That's +9. So that should help a little bit. Hey, buddy.
No. Wait. You have felt the curse. I can smell it on you. The box, yet tender. Apparently my seedbed is ripe and waiting. 'Twas a brief respite, I must say. Go and unshackle my corporeal flesh, trapped in the sewer jail below the capital.
What if...
I can kill you and defile your corpse. Then the pox will truly be your own.
What if I killed you instead? What if that? What if we did it that way around?
Go and unshackle my corporeal flesh, trapped in the sewer jail below the capital. I can kill you and defile you in the pox.
Yeah, well, how about go f yourself, dude? Thanks for the key, though. So that wouldn't happen to be the key to the place with the thing with the door that we couldn't open. That was kind of annoying before. Feels likely. Down here and then past this. And then there's the flowers. And then there's the hand. That I just don't have to care about.
Let me out. Let me out of here.
No. Fuck you. Yes, okay, problem solved, I guess. Sinister greatsword fashioned from a giant's backbone, Jesus, meets out wounds like a lopsided saw blade and restores some FP upon defeating an enemy. Milos was undersized for a giant and was viewed as sullied and terribly grotesque. Oh good, more ableism. Malformed greaves resembling an omen with its horns cut off. Worn by the Dung Eater, their form is a vision of the landscape of his mind and of his appearance as he wished to see it. The heart of an omen without a body to match. Could there be any crueler existence? What does it matter then if the curse claim all? The heavy sun-shaped medallion represents both the guidance he once saw and the ring to which it will one day lead. So, obviously, past Skyen made a bit of an executive decision there, emphasis on the execute part, that we are not going to be pursuing the Dung Eater's storyline in this playthrough. So, let's attempt a quick analysis of his whole deal, because much though I'm not interested in having him in my game anymore, there are a few things going on with him that will, serendipitously, be relevant to the rest of the video. And I think the important place to start here is that the Dung Eater is not an omen. He wears a suit of armor with cut-off omen horns all over it, but that, to him, is a costume, an aspirational representation of what he wants to be, which is not an omen. Which, okay, that sounds a bit counterintuitive, but what the Dung Eater wants isn't actually to be an actual omen. What he wants is to be what the omens represent to him. What he wants to be is a curse. He has been killing and defiling for one purpose only, and that is to incubate the vilest, most horrifying, painful, violating curse that he can imagine and make it spread. He wants to germinate it into a mending rune, insert that rune into the Elden Ring, and curse the entire world. If you want to steel man his motivations, give him the most generous reading possible, then you could see this mission as democratizing, kind of, in a Syndrome from The Incredibles kind of way. When everyone is cursed,
no one will be.
You could, thus, understand his philosophy as a kind of extreme response to the inequality and cruelty of the Golden Order. As we've observed, the Golden Order draws entirely arbitrary lines between that which is sanctioned and holy and that which is abhorrent and reviled, and enforces those lines with violence. Morgoth is a prime example of this. He's a true-born demigod, a child of divinity, who spends his entire existence in painful service to an order that hates him, and whose endless suffering and dedication is rewarded only with death and rejection, because he's an omen and therefore he is cursed. So, if everyone is cursed, then no one is, thus solving the problem once and for all. The trouble with that is, the Dung Eater is not an omen. He just LARPs as one. And it's pretty clear from how he conducts himself while LARPing that he thinks omens are disgusting. That they are filthy, cursed, vile, wretched rejects, that they are hateful and dirty and ugly. That's why he dresses up as one in order to pursue his ideology of defilement. The Dung Eater is not interested in challenging the idea that some people are born cursed and deserve to suffer. No, like a black-pilled incel on 4chan, he has instead decided that being wretched and vile and cruel is based and enlightened, actually. It's all those unpilled normies who are cringe. I'm so dark and f***ed up. Oh, you don't want to know what lurks in my twisted evil mind. My profile picture is the Joker because I laugh at how meaningless the world is. That is the Dung Eater. That's the pathology we're working with here. He's an egomaniac, his dialogue makes that quite clear, and he wants to curse the world as an act of domination and infamy, to impose his vision on 1,000 generations that will have to suffer for his actions, and therefore remember him, think of him, pay attention to him. It is the logic of trolling, it is the ideology of a mass shooter. So, let's compare the Dung Eater's idea of omens as these vile, defiling repositories of pain and evil and misery to the actual omens that we've met. Morgott, the poor bastard, was not a repository of natural evil. He was a thinking, feeling man with a complex interiority and a deep sense of morality. Granted, his morality was twisted because it was based on the Golden Order, but what he wasn't is some mindless plague barge whose only conscious desire is to spread misery. He was a person, fully and complexly so, for better and very much also for worse. In the shunning grounds, we find omens sitting peacefully by beautiful statues as though in prayer, pacifist, so long as nobody disturbs them. And we find one sitting by a little grave, head bowed as though in sorrow. And nearby, the Omen Baron, that little memorial doll, with text that reads, "Please don't hate me or curse me. Please. Please don't curse me." That is the wish of omens and omen children. An end to curses and pain, not an eternity of it. If the Dung Eater had been an omen himself, subject to the persecution, then maybe you could see a kind of twisted logic in his actions. Once everyone is cursed, then we can no longer be singled out for it. Or you could even see an understandable thirst for revenge, a desire to inflict on the oppressor the pain suffered by the oppressed. But he's not an omen. He wears the omen costume because he thinks that omens are exactly as vile and disgusting as the Golden Order says they are. He wears the costume and defiles corpses and eats shit to trigger that disgust in other people. He works his curses and his defilement entirely because he gets off on making other people suffer. It is about nothing but power and ego. It is about dominating and violating the bodies of other people for fun. He's an incel with a superiority complex, a failed archetype of person so common and mundane that I will have banned a dozen of them from my YouTube comments by Thursday and forgotten about them on Friday. Well, I guess that's that taken care of. Yeah, I don't want to deal with you. I just want to leave, dude. Right then. I guess back to the pipe maze. Cool, the Dung Eaters. Actually, let me go to the round table hole just to make sure.
Greetings, are you here for spit? I can hear it, the howl. You should keep. I know you.
Wait, did that not get him? Is he still there? No, we got him. Okay. Probably. I guess Roderica just hasn't heard the good news. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling. Okay, this feels like something. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. Jars? Yes. Hostile, unfortunately. Don't want to fight him. Just gonna. Oh, cool. There's an elevator down. There we go. A grace, too. Oh, it feels too good to be true. Boss time. Probably? Dungeon time, maybe? Dungeon time. That felt a lot like a... Oh, well, maybe not with a grace that close. Okay, maybe boss time? That does look rather arena-ish. Am I gonna walk in and get a cutscene? Is that what... Hello? Oh! Oh. Well, not a lot of fanfare, but alright. That's burning blood. Blood is not really supposed to do that, I think. Moog, there you are. I guess it makes sense that you'd be here. I was wondering if you had any close-range attacks. Oh, very much so, yes. Okay. Yeah, spamming rolls. That was my own fault. Okay. So there's another character with the word The Omen attached to them. Okay, what does the shackle even do to him? Because in my mind, it can't be, like... It can't be that good, right? Wait, does that just work forever? There's no way that that just works continuously. Yeah, I didn't think so. Still, working twice is still, that's pretty good. I can work with twice. Damn it. Yeah, okay. Not very talkative, are you? I suppose it would be difficult to talk if his whole face is just covered in horns, but... Luck! Pure luck! There we go, that wasn't so hard. A Blood Oath incantation granted by the Lord of Blood. Creates blood flame lacerations before the caster, which explode in an instant. This incantation can be cast repeatedly. After dealing damage, blood flame continues to build up onset of blood loss for a very short time. I noticed that! I noticed that happened. Moog. The Omen. An appropriate final boss, I suppose, for the subterranean shunning grounds, which, interpreting the name of the place, is very much, you know, this is where we throw the babies we don't want, kind of, with the omens. Certainly seems to be where the omens of Leyendell are kept. Immiserated. A talisman depicting a special blessing of the Erdtree raises maximum HP, stamina, and equip load. It is said that when the age of the Erdtree began, such blessings were personally bestowed upon the recipients by Queen Marika herself.
If you intend to claim the frenzied flame, I ask that you cease.
Huh?
It is not to be meddled with. It is chaos, devouring life and thought unending. However ruined this world has become, however mired in torment and despair, life endures. Births continue. There is beauty in that. Is there not? If you would become Lord, do not deny this notion. Please, leave the frenzied flame alone.
Huh? What? Okay. Sure. Is the frenzied flame in the room with us? I wasn't planning to... What?
The frenzied flame is not to be meddled with. It is chaos, devouring life and thought unending. So please, leave the frenzied flame alone.
Sure. Yes. I guess I didn't know that wait, aren't we going to find the frenzied flame? No, wait. So we're gonna find a one flame, but we're not gonna find the other flame. Okay. Okay, bye. I promise not to go find the whatever it was, the thing that you just said. Right, well, let me just step in here, because this distractible idiot is about to run around for hours without giving me room to talk, so let's have a chat about Moog the Omen. Now, I have a suspicion, a hunch, call it a funny feeling in the back of my mind, that we might not have seen the last of this guy. So for the moment, I'm not going to do a full analysis of the character, in part because there just isn't that much character to analyze here yet. With no remembrance, no dialogue, and no item descriptions really, all we have to go by is his design and his arena, which do tell us a few interesting things. So first, the arena. This is an Erdtree catacomb, but it's also pretty clearly a chapel, or a church. And Moog, with his candelabra-like trident and robes and his positioning, is set up here as essentially a priest, or possibly a cult leader, although, well, you know, potato tomato. And that makes his presence here a little bit interesting. As past Skyen was confused to find out, Moog's chapel here is essentially the last stop before you reach the frenzied flame, the yellow flame of madness which attracts the miserable and the desperate. So it's interesting that before any omen from the shunning grounds can descend, and in their desperation perhaps reach out for the flame, they have to go through Moog. And one could imagine that he waits here with kindly advice and spiritual guidance, and that he helps shepherd the poor omens away from that false god and back towards their painful but rightful place in the Golden Order. But let's be real, if he's doing anything here, he is poaching those desperate souls for his own blood cult. Which is not a bad play, honestly, because as we have established, it's not as though you could really blame an omen for taking a chance on literally anything other than the status quo. Now, whatever his specific purpose here, what seems clear to me is that we are supposed to understand him in context with and in contrast to the Shunning Grounds and to the other omens imprisoned there. Whatever he's specifically doing here, as a design, he represents an alternative to all of this. Speaking of which, to analyze his design, I think it might be instructive to do that by way of a comparison. But who to compare him to? Tell you what, let me just spin this wheel of completely random options here. Let's click that button and... Morgoth the Omen King? Huh. Well, I wasn't ready for that one, but I guess I can wing it. As we discussed extensively with Morgoth, he evokes the cultural image of the leper, the sick person who was made to wear their illness as a costume and a badge of shame, who is shunned and hated for the state of their body. Morgoth, in particular, wears it like a penance, like a hair shirt, begging in vain for the Golden Order and the Erdtree to forgive him the sin of his curse. He wears what was probably once fine robes, now worn down to shreds and tatters, and bound with rough and knotted ropes. His hair is white and thinning, his face is lined and wrinkled, and he has excised some of the horns on his face over the left eye, perhaps to preserve his vision. His face is also very human, as is his body. His hands are human hands, his feet are human feet. Beneath the curse, he is what he is so desperate to be, a human being. And bitter though it is, in death, he is granted at least that small dignity. Now compare with Mohg. Mohg wears fine fashion, a huge and stately robe with a fine crimson shawl and a sumptuously decorated stole like a bishop. He wears bracelets on his wrists, golden clasps on his chest, a multi-layered shoulder cape, and a beautifully ornamented shoulder piece. His clothes are immaculately maintained, lustrous in color, and drape over him thick and fine. Mohg, in other words, has got that shit on. And where Morgoth carries a gnarled old walking stick, almost as hoary as he is as his kingly scepter, Mohg holds a golden, elaborate trident as his staff of office. So we can tell something from their looks about how each of these men think about themselves. We can see Morgoth's shame, and thus in contrast we can see Mohg's pride. This is not a man who feels any need whatsoever to be humble or self-effacing, to make himself lesser or to be deferent to anyone. This is the garb of wealth and power and legitimacy. Someone who is not just accepted in a power structure, but who is of high status within it. This leads us on to the differences in their bodies. Now, most obviously, where Morgoth has excised horns from his face, perhaps to preserve as much of his human visage as possible, Mohg has a horn that has grown clean through his own eye. And there is no sign of any attempt to prune it or cut it, and nor is there any sign that the injury actually bothers him. He hasn't covered it up, there are no bandages, and despite being objectively kind of a grisly injury, it really doesn't look it, does it? It almost doesn't even look like an injury at all, in fact, because he wears it with such a perfect, natural, unbothered grace. Mohg also doesn't look human at all, it should be said. There is just barely the remains of a human-looking nose on his face, but from his giant fangs to his yellow eye to the horn-like scales that cover him rather than skin, he looks more than anything else like a monster, a demon, a devil even. He has 6 fingers on one hand, with the 6th being a blackened claw that he seems to use to tear open those burning blood portals that he loves to use, and where Morgoth has thick, stubby, weathered, and very human hands, Mohg has these veiny, taut, black-clawed talons. Even his feet are not human feet. He has a recessed thumb on there that makes them almost look like malformed hands, or, in the context of Elden Ring designs, almost like a dragon's hind legs. So again, where Morgoth has desperately clung to his humanity, insisted upon it, Mohg has soundly rejected it. How much of this transformation is the influence of his patron blood deity, and how much of it is the omen curse doing it to him? Who knows, but visually, his curse is what he embraces. Unlike other omens, whose designs emphasize the deforming, asymmetrical, injurious pain of the horn growths, Mohg, for lack of a better word, looks cool. The omen condition on him is not presented visually as a disability or a disease. It is part of what makes him look so good in those fancy threads. And in his priestly or bishop-looking robes, not only does he look good, he looks connected to the divine, like a speaker for the gods themselves. A god of blood in his case. Which can't help but remind me that when we fight Morgoth and you reach the second phase of the battle, the thing that he howls and laments is despair over his cursed blood. For Morgoth, the blood is his problem. For Moog, the blood is his power. Which gets us back to that question of the omen condition. The Golden Order considers it a shameful curse, one that is to be purged with violence and abuse. But as we saw on that Crucible Scale talisman, which we found guarded by an omen warrior bending over it in a way that seems almost reverent, once upon a time, chimerism, bodies growing features outside of their species, was considered a sign of divinity. It was a vestige of the crucible of primordial life, evidence of the origin of life itself, and evidence that all life is inherently equal in origin. It only became hated as an impurity as civilization, quote-unquote, advanced. Once upon a time, these differences in the body were a mark of the divine, until at some point the advancement of civilization came to require the implementation of hierarchies of bodily purity. We have seen this in the treatment of the misbegotten and the demi-humans, which, like the omens, are considered unclean and unholy, a sort of natural pest that either requires controlling or culling. And we're going to see it again, even more bleakly, in just a minute. Whoa! Oh. Well, I kind of wanted a closer look at the altar, but... Okay, so there's... Okay, right. I guess... Okay, I was about to throw to Future Skyne, but I guess... We'll just see what's down here, in case it gives us any more clues. Is that... Whoa! Ember taken from the eye socket of a corpse, a sign that the deceased suffered from the flame of frenzy. Oh, okay. This grape has ripened and burst. Isn't that the song that the nomads play? Like the merchants? Whoa, 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 oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I guess the omens weren't the only ones who were shunned. There's so many. There's so many. The implication being contains A record of crafting techniques left by those afflicted with the madness of the Flame of Frenzy. Contains techniques discovered in desperation. Yeah, I'll say so. Desperation is putting it mildly. I mean, if you just want to play melodies, then I am not going to interrupt you, buddy. Like this. Okay, I'm kind of losing hope that this will give me any more context about Moog. Yeah. Yep. 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 Okay. Yeah, oh, the geometry. Okay. Very useful, thank you. Incantation originating from the maddening three fingers causes the yellow flame of frenzy to blaze from the caster's eyes. The caster then latches on to foes, spreading the madness. This incantation also causes a build of madness in the caster and is only effective against tarnished. To gaze into one another's eyes is truly the most intimate form of human contact. Well, next to hand-holding. A great stone shield with an intricately carved fingerprint design. One of the heaviest of all great shields, part of the tomb of an ancient god, the readerless fingers relayed their message through these imprints, said to be the very seeds from which frenzy first sprouted. Okay, stairs at last. I swear to God, if I die from this fall... Oh, you mother... Okay, I'm alive. I'm good. Everything's good. I'm good.
I ask you one more time, please, seek not the frenzied flame.
Ah, so it's down here then.
Strives to become a lord, deny not the lives, the new births of this world. Those who would are not fit to be called lord, when the land they preside over is lifeless. Please, put a stop to this madness. The Lord of Frenzied Flame is no lord at all, when the land they preside over is lifeless.
Right, okay, so... One assumes that that is where the Frenzied Flame is kept. Right, well, okay, that's where it is. So that's why she was, because we were getting close to... Okay, Frenzied Flame proscription. That's where that is. Huh. What gets me is how many bodies there are. It's just, there's so many, and they're so tightly packed, and it's so everywhere. Elden Ring is a game with a lot of horror and blood and guts and brutality in it, but I genuinely wasn't ready for just how chilling the mass grave of the nomads would be. Just so there is no doubt in anyone's mind, what we're seeing here is a genocide. By any definition of the word, that is what has happened. The Golden Order committed a genocide against the wandering nomads. Now, if you know anything about the histories of itinerant, nomadic, traveling, or stateless populations around the world, whether it be Irish travelers, or the Roma, or the Bedouin, or the Apache, or the Crow, or the Greenlandic Inuit, or the Ainu, or the Sami, or any of them, for almost any such traveling population, persecution, pogroms, and genocides are a pattern which targets them. The rhetoric which justifies these genocides is also pretty much always the same. They are a nuisance, becomes they are impure, dirty, and lawless, which then becomes they are a threat. Genocide is virtually always justified with claims of self-defense. In the case of the nomads, that justification was the flame of frenzy. They are said to be followed by a maddening disease, so they are impure. That impurity becomes a threat, and that threat requires destruction. Merchant Kale has a cut quest line, which would have expanded on this storyline a lot, wherein he finds his way to this killing ground and is driven right into the arms of the frenzied flame by the horrors that he has seen here. It's a case of classic, tragic, self-fulfilling prophecy. In trying to destroy the perceived threat of the nomads, the Golden Order instead ensures that anyone who finds out the truth about what they've done will have a reason to embrace the frenzied flame. Because at some point, what other response is there to the genocide of your friends and family and loved ones? What other response is there when everything you have to live for is killed from you? What would you do if something like this was done to everything and everyone you have ever loved? Shrug your shoulders and sing a protest song while the bodies pile up and the world does nothing? For what? For fear that those who are complicit will tut and shrug and shake their heads and disapprove of the lack of decorum with which your family dies? Elden Ring is a fantasy game, and I don't think that the genocide of the nomads are a metaphor for anything in specific, but its portrayal of how genocides happen and what the consequences look like is entirely realistic. You can see it play out on the news every day. From the river to the sea, by the way. Oh, well. There I go again. Oh, and I live. Oh, okay. I guess now we survive. Oh, it's like a Wait, it's exactly like... This is like exactly like in the in Dark Souls, where there's the place with the secret wall at the hollow in the tree, and and then you bash the wall behind the chest, and then there's another one, and then below that is a bunch of... Oh, hello. Deep root. Doesn't seem like you could get up and out from here, though. Feels kind of down only. Oh, wait, is this just... Oh, this is just the same area as I got in last time. That's over there. Okay. Yeah, gargoyles and all. So that just leads directly down into here, huh? Again, there's that question of is there connection there? Does that mean anything for Moog? I would like it if you don't. Oh, me! Okay, so that thing just follows you all the way over there. Wide range on those things, I must say. Man, I just wanted to get to the top of the waterfall, really. This has gone way too far. Oh, well. Future Scan can figure it out. He'll cut in when he wants to. Okay, I was rather expecting a boss fight. Am I gonna have to fight that? Is that gonna come alive and... Is that a fishtail? Wait. Godwin? Okay. Don't care for that. Fia's champion. Well, aren't you an agile fella? Not a very sturdy one, though. You could have more health than that, I feel. Like, my vigor isn't that high, but yours is maybe a little... Ah, I see. Roger? Dude, what happened to you? You were dead, though, dude. What the hell? I guess... Oh, cool. Great. That's fantastic. I love that. Wonderful. I love nothing more than a group that... Ah, Jesus! I mean, if you guys are gonna gang up... I don't know if I can summon for this, but if you are, then, well, I am too. Hey, that's my sword, dude. Oh, are they randomized? Or are these builds of, like, actual players? Sorcery of Fia, the Deathbed companion, creates a deathly mist before the caster, which inflicts deathblight upon those who enter. This sorcery was developed to oppose the Round Table hold, and is only effective against Tarnished. Indeed. Hey, Fia! Been a while since I've seen you. Deathbed companion, huh?
There you are. I knew you would come. What is it you intend? to deny us and our ways, like the dogmatic brutes of the Golden Order.
No. I want to be held.
You are an odd one. I am the guardian of those who live in death. They call me a foul and rotten witch. Yet you still wish to be held by me?
Honestly, it's been kind of a hard session. I've kind of died a lot. So, you know what? Sure.
Have you ever seen a Hallowbrand? When the first of the demigods died, his flesh was marked with the half-wheel wound of the centipede. Godwyn's Hallowbrand has since been recovered at the Round Table Hold. But there is another Hallowbrand out there somewhere, and I must find it before the time comes we receive our Lord. When Godwyn died, a Hallowbrand scored his flesh, but another exists. Another mark in the shape of the half-wheel wound of the centipede, and I must find it before my hands will be dirtied once more by the deed. Will you still let me hold you, even then?
I mean, I don't really have any use for it, so sure, she can have it.
This is the other Hallowbrand. How did you... Oh, my utmost thanks. With this, Godwyn can take his rightful place as first of the dead and claim a second, illustrious life. You are our true champion. And though I can't be of any use to you, can I hold you tight? If only for a moment. I will soon lay with Godwyn, and it will surely stir within me the new life of the Golden Prince, and first dead of the demigods, as the rune of those who live in death. Please, do one thing for me. Brandish this child, my rune, and take for yourself the throne. Stay the persecution of those who live in death by becoming our Elden Lord.
I have a previous engagement, I'm afraid.
I will soon to conceive. Brandish by becoming.
Protection of a hidden temple in the guise of a bedchamber. This blessing is of the utmost rarity. Uses FP to temporarily raise poise. The effect lasts longer than a mere favor. It is said a deathbed companion will only produce a blessing of this kind for a champion but once in her entire life. The sole blessing which she imbues of her own volition. Thanks, I guess. Let's reset the area and see if anything happens.
This is goodbye, my dear, but I am satisfied. I choose to lie with Godwyn of my own will, not the remains of one chosen for me, and I will bear a child who will inherit your warmth too. What greater blessing could there be but to be born a deathbed companion? This is goodbye, but I choose to, and I will who will inherit. What greater
Okay. Okay, she's moving, so she's not dead. So I guess what we saw under Stormvale was just was not him as such, like not his actual, but an outgrowth. And there's the eye. So that's Godwin's arm. And a merman's tail, basically. It is a mermaid. Like, that looks like a mermaid's tail. That doesn't look like a real fish's tail, right? It looks like a mermaid's tail. And they are webbed fingers. And webbing under the arm. And a head like a clamshell. And this returns... Well, maybe I'll just let Future Skyan take care of that. But it returns again to this association with the ocean and death. But also that central question about, like... Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. Oh, on foot. I have to fight him on foot. Okay. I gotta be honest, I don't rate my chances. Ow. Okay. Christ. Oleg! Oh, he can breathe fire too. Of course he can. It's not all lightning and thunder. Okay, right. Oh my god! Oh. Okay. All right. Okay, I got him. I got him. Cool. The f was that? Remembrance of Lich Dragon Fortisax hewn into the Earth Tree. After Godwyn the Golden became the Prince of Death, the ancient dragon fought long and hard against the death within its companion. Alas, victory was never achieved, and its only reward was corruption. Okay! Rune gestated by Fia, the Deathbed companion, used to restore the fractured Elden Ring when brandished by the Elden Lord. formed of the two Hallowbrand half-wheels combined. It will embed the principle of life within death into order. Thus, the Golden Order was created by confining destined death. Thus, this new order will be one of death restored. Restored to what exactly?
Prince of Death, take a good long look. See the wrath of the Golden Order, the Order's justice writ in blood. This is what's become of your precious witch. Naught but expired meat and bone. This is a proper death, O Prince. Look at this rotten whore. No more children can be got from this useless flesh. Behold, your mother is dead.
Hello, Alfred.
This is revenge, you witch, and you ghoul. This is the wrath of D.
Neat. Hi, buddy. How you doing there? Robe of black cloth that covers the entire body, worn by Fia, the deathbed companion, on her journey after being exiled from her home. The fabric itself is as soft as silk, and thin enough that those embraced can feel every pulse, every bit of her warmth.
Hello. The rotten witch is dead. The Golden Order unsullied. Now I can look my brother Darian in the eye. Honeyed rays of gold, deliver my spirit. Darian, now I have no regrets. Honeyed rays of gold, deliver my spirit. Darian, honeyed.
Yeah, sure. Good job, kid. You did it. That, fantastic. She was definitely not dead already. She was for sure not dead at all already. And she definitely didn't actually already finish exactly everything she wanted to do. So yeah, success. Good job, man. You did it. You did it. Wow. Fantastic. Good job, you. Good job, you. The inseparable twins found solace in the Golden Order, the only institution not to revile them as accursed beings. Funny how occasionally the Golden Order can extend tolerance. It's like occasionally they just decide, yeah, sure, we can extend tolerance sometimes. Well, okay then. All right. Cool. Sweet. Let's just go through this thing real quick to see where it takes me. Wait, here? Right. Well, yeah, sure. You know what? Future Sky, this is all you. Oh, isn't it always? 7 hours. By the way, 7 hours and 15 minutes. That is how long it took you from the time you left Morgoth's throne until you finally, properly, through to me. And you managed, by some combination of sheer luck and FromSoft's cohesive level design, to accidentally string together a group of characters and boss encounters that work too well together for me to be able to split all of this up into separate videos, which is both the reason I hate you and the only reason I'm letting you live. Now, let's get the obviously less interesting character out of the way first and talk about the corrupted lightning bolt throwing dragon lich the size of a building. The storytelling here, at least as near as I can parse it, is that we don't really fight Fortisax as such, at least not in the flesh. It is a figment of Fia's dream here, a metaphysical obstacle rather than a direct one. As Fia is attempting to gestate the mending rune of the Death Prince, I think Fortisax, thematically, represents the last bits of resistance from Godwyn's soul to the transformation of his body, the last ties still binding him to what he once was. And I think so in part because if you look closely, Fortisax is golden. The death blight has all but completely taken him over, but along the lines of his scales and on his chest especially, you can still see the gold assert itself, shiny and metallic, peeking through the death blight that is tarnishing it. Golden grace, which is tarnished and slowly vanishing. That sounds familiar for some reason, but I just can't think of what it might be reminding me of. In slaying Fortisax, or the spirit of Fortisax, or whatever it may be, thus we slay the last vestiges of gold in our golden boy. Essentially, we complete Ranni's assassination. We sever the final tie that held Godwyn to the Golden Order, and we become midwife to the birth of the Prince of Death. Design-wise, Fortisax is otherwise, I think, functionally identical to his sister Lanciax, who we briefly tussled with previously. The main differences come from the influence of the Blight, which manifests as those characteristic ragged spikes and thorns all along the body of the poor thing. Especially Fortisax's head is doing some storytelling here. On one side, gold is still visible, patchy and uneven, while on the other, his very eye socket has become the sprouting seedbed for a bloom of nasty-looking deathblight. It is eating him inside and out. His long neck is also quite striking here. With all the thorns, it almost looks like it is a spike of deathblight itself. It's a grim body horror, and it lends some pathos to the desperate resistance of this devoted dragon, giving everything to hold on to the last scraps of the friend he once loved. Which starts to get us into the polycule-ness of this whole situation. Fortisax is here in spirit because, presumably, so close was his relationship with Godwyn that they intertwined their souls, they merged in some way, which, as metaphors go, you don't need a lot of interpretation before you arrive at an understanding of that, which is romantic or sexual. And along those same lines, metaphorically, the Golden Order joined itself to the Order of the Ancient Dragons, merged with it to incorporate it into its body. So there is a physical and spiritual merging between Godwyn the Golden and mighty Fortisax, just as there is a merging between their orders. And that's a theme that continues in Elden Ring. How does Radagon incorporate the Carians into the Golden Order? Well, by marrying and consummating that marriage with Renala. And when the Golden Order is broken, how does it attempt to reform itself? Well, by having Radagon marry and merge with Marika, who is also him. It tries to heal by merging with itself, essentially. Even Godric, lesser wretch that he is, seeks strength by merging his body with others, just as Alexander gains strength from piling bodies into his jar. Even the valiant gargoyles are powerful because they are made from the merged strength of other champions. Things join together, physically, spiritually, conceptually, sexually, romantically. They join together to become stronger. Like metal, they alloy themselves. Which returns us to something we touched on with the omens. Remember how once upon a time having signs being made from the parts of other creatures was a signifier of the divine? Well, take a look at Godwyn. He has scaly arms with webbed fingers, like an otter almost. He has fish-like fins and scales and a mermaid's tail, and his head is a giant ocean clam. As he grows in power as the Prince of Death, that power seems to manifest, at least partly, as chimeric transformation. Godwyn also manifests in the world via the merging of bodies. We've seen these piles of congealed corpses in the places that his power touches, and features of Godwyn's body, like his face and eyes, manifest onto things that are connected with him, almost as though his essence is merging with them. This is the behavior of a cancer or an infectious disease, and that's certainly how it's coded visually. It looks pustulant and infected. But historically, achieving a physical union with or manifesting the physical traits of a divine being is pretty common as an act of high divine communion. A lot of saints were said to manifest the stigmata, and a lot of Catholics merge their flesh with Christ every Sunday when they take the Eucharist. Even here in our real world, religious connection is not isolated to the realm of the spiritual. Physical union, whether in pain or in pleasure, is how mortals connect with their gods. Which gets us to the final part of the polycule here. Fia is, if not literally, then certainly thematically, a sex worker. Her job is to lay with champions and take a bit of their essence into herself. It is euphemized as her taking their warmth, but again, you don't exactly have to stretch the metaphor here. Then, having been impregnated with enough warmth, she lays with the corpse of someone wealthy or important enough to command her services and passes that strength on to them so they can live again. Essentially, she rebirths them, and thus she occupies the thematic mixed role of being both mother and sexual partner. So, much like with Marika and Radagon, incest themes begin to recur in these mergings of bodies. This reflects in part the real-life historical practices of kings and nobles incestuously merging their own bloodlines to consolidate power, but it's also just kind of a common thing in mythology. Gaia produced 12 titans from a union with her own son Uranus, while Horus in Egyptian mythology is, first of all, himself the grandson of a pair of married siblings, and he takes his mother Isis as a consort. Incest as a theme can mean any of 1,000 things in mythology. Sometimes it is the herald of calamity and destruction, sometimes it is the demonstration of a taboo, and sometimes it also seems to be a means to consolidate and solidify divine power. We will return to these themes in later episodes, but for now I just want to note the prevalence and importance of these romantic, spiritual, sexual mergings to the various power structures of Elden Ring, and I wanted to note Fia's thematically incestuous role as a kind of combination lover and mother to those she revives, especially in the context of her relation to Godwyn. Because in birthing him as the Prince of Death and birthing the Mending Rune to change the Elden Ring, she's also usurping Marika and her power. She is undoing Godwyn's connection to the Golden Order and his original mother, and instead tying him to her. Now, it's pretty clear that for Fia, being a deathbed companion wasn't like a choice that she got to make. She describes it as the purpose of her being, and the blessing that she gives to us when we deliver the curse mark is pretty explicit that this is the only blessing that she has ever granted of her own volition. In other words, it seems like she has never had the right of refusal when someone comes to her and demands to be held. Her quest to birth the Death Prince thus comes across pretty strongly as an act of rebellion against her powerless circumstances. He might be the first person that she will ever lay with and revive who did not compel her to do it. Fia was chased from her homeland when the Grace of Gold awoke in her, making her tarnished, and arriving in the lands between, she turned her sympathies to those who live in death, who are persecuted ruthlessly by the Golden Order merely for the crime of how they came into existence, how they were born, essentially. As Roger says, those who live in death merely touched upon a flaw in the Order and have the right to life. The Golden Order is founded upon the denial and control of death, and those who live in death are the result of death being forcibly reintroduced to the Order through Godwyn's murder. Thus, they are an impurity, and Golden Order fundamentalists try to wipe them out as a perceived threat. Which again, we are continuing a theme here. D calls Fia a rotten whore when he has killed her, and the previous D says of those who live in death that their existence sullies the guidance of gold, tainting its truth, and therefore the vermin must be exterminated. Which, that's familiar rhetoric, isn't it? The brothers D act as a kind of foil and mirror to Fia, it seems to me. They became Golden Order fundamentalists because the Order is the only power structure with a place for their nature. The Golden Order gives them a place to live. Fia becomes a rebel because the Golden Order does not have a place for death. Her plan is to take all of the warmth and strength of champions that she can gather and pass it all on to Godwyn to rebirth him as the Prince of Death to defend her people. And it's an interesting plan. She's rebelling against the way things are, against the order of things. And it's very hard not to see that in some way as a rebellion against her own fate. She was used as a kind of life battery for the wealthy and the powerful, for those who sit on top of the hierarchy. And now she's choosing instead to turn around to protect and deliver her blessings to those who have the least. those on the bottom of the hierarchy. At the same time, though, she's also not rebelling against her fate. She's still a deathbed companion, she still lays with champions to absorb their warmth, and she is still going to be passing that strength on to a noble prince so he can live again. She's fulfilling her purpose to the letter, doing exactly what it is her fate to do. She's just making some executive decisions about when, with whom, and for whose benefit. Now, on the critical side, you could point out that if one of the horrors of Fia's existence is that she is denied the right to consent to the use of her body by other people, I do think it should be noted that Godwyn didn't consent to be murdered, first of all, and doesn't really seem like he's sentient enough to consent to Fia laying with him and rebirthing him. In fact, if anything, he seems to put up resistance to it, what with the dragon that shows up to fight when Fia makes the attempt. Fia, as I said, is fulfilling her purpose to the letter, and her purpose is premised on the practice of using someone else's body for your own benefit. Fia doesn't reject her nature as a deathbed companion, or even lament it. Instead, she seems to take profound joy from it, that she can use her nature to help the oppressed and ease their suffering. She makes herself mother of the dead, lover and parent to the prince of the dead, and progenitor of a new form of order. In so doing, more than almost any other character we've met, she is directly usurping the power and position of Queen Marika. Fia cannot change her nature, but she can decide what it means. And a lot of her power, a lot of her ability to change the world, seems to come from that ability to be in harmony with herself. And again, I think we're extending a theme here. Morgoth fights his own nature as an omen, relentlessly, struggling in the shackles of the Golden Order, and he dies unable to change anything. Mohg seems to take pride in his nature as an act of rebellion, and I suppose time will tell how much change that makes him able to effect. Even Melena's narrative seems to be about learning to understand and come to terms with the nature of what she is, and thus finding power in it, while, much like with Morgoth, it is a conflict between the nature of what he is versus what he wants to be that forms the core of poor Blythe's tragedy. Ranni's rebellion against her fate requires her to change her nature, casting off her Empyrean flesh to become a wandering soul instead, and it is only by changing her nature that Ranni becomes able to change the world. So there are dualities here, everywhere. Body and soul, identity and social role, fate and will, ambition and duty. Everywhere you look in Elden Ring, there are characters who seek to transform, to transition, to merge with something to become something else, or split from something in order to become themselves. It is like the reactions of chemistry playing out as theater. It is history written in alchemy. Well, that was another episode of the Boss Designs of Elden Ring. Was this episode any good? I've been working on it off and on for 5 months, so I genuinely can't tell anymore. It's probably fine. It's usually fine. Anyway, that was 7 hours of footage that I somehow managed to compress into, around 2 hours of episode, maybe? Obviously, a lot of things had to get cut in that process, but as usual, if you want to see the full playthrough unedited, warts and all, you can find that on the Let's Play channel in the Elden Ring unedited playlist. Which, speaking of other channels, if you want more regular posting from me, do subscribe to 3bskine, which is my reaction commentary casual posting channel. It's pretty much where my animation breakdowns live these days, so if you want to see me go through an animated trailer, discuss the character design of Deadlock or Marble Rivals, or extensively analyze the cinematography of some indie animation, that is the place to subscribe to. Oh, and the Shorts channel continues to post daily as well. Somehow I have managed to make that part of my output remarkably consistent. Probably at least in part because I hired an editor to help me with it. Maybe I should consider that for this channel here too, huh? Now, since I have exhausted all of the footage that I have available, it's also going to be time to record Elden Ring again, so look out for a recording stream to happen here on this channel sometime in the medium future. The next video on this channel, though, is either going to be a video about the character design of the Amazing Digital Circus, or maybe, possibly, a video about the character design of the Tau from Warhammer 40k. I haven't decided which one I'm doing first, but keep an eye on the Patreon for early access and previews of that. Speaking of which, yes, yada yada Patreon, blah blah, give me your money. Wait, okay, I probably shouldn't sound dismissive about that. I am immensely grateful for the support and generosity and patience of people who somehow still spend their money on me. But also, I'm doing financially fine these days. I am not struggling for rent. So if you have a few dollars lying around that need to be spent on something, please consider donating to Doctors Without Borders or the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund instead of sending it to me. Even a little bit of money goes a really long way in their hands. Anyway, that's the end of the video, I guess. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. Remember to be kind to one another. Have solidarity with those who are struggling. And may the tides of history wash gently over us all.